Najib, do you know why I'm wearing shades today?
Oh yes, I might have an idea.
Yeah, yeah. It's too bright. I see red everywhere, and it's hurting my eyes.
Oh my god,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I know what you're talking about today.
Yeah.
I like
Roll the
shades.
intro.
Roll the intro.
Welcome back to another episode of Crossroads. This is the 7th episode. We do this every single day. I'm here with the great data scientist ninja himself. Welcome, Najib. Welcome to the show. How are you feeling today?
Thank you, Malik. It's always a pleasure being here.
That's awesome. We are going to discuss 4 topics today. And if you're new here, we discuss various topics from business and technology and try to teach each other something new every single day. And through this, I hope you all learn something new as well. So we have 4 topics
Correct.
lined up today. And I'm going to start. The first topic that I'm going to talk about is the crypto market crash that happened since the last 2 days. Najib, what are your thoughts on this?
I think even 2 days have passed. I think effectively only 32, 36 hours have passed.
Yeah. So
What I think,
in
I feel bad. the
Yes.
thing is, it always, it's gonna come, right? It's gonna come. You're like, okay, the market is rising, the market needs a correction, it needs a correction. You're like, should I sell now? And then when it drops, it keeps dropping, and you're like, oh, it happens, and you're like, it keeps dropping more.
Yeah.
God.
So to back up a little for people who don't know what a correction is or what markets are in general.
Oh yes.
Now, financial markets have a general way of working. Crypto markets is no different. It has ups and it has downs. And if you were watching the news, you would know that the crypto markets as a whole had a uptrend for the past 4-5 months continuously without any major hiccups. And if you are into markets, if you do investing, you know that if something goes high very fast, it comes down, and that sudden surge of momentum upwards, then the below dip is called the correction. So it is considered healthy. If you are a trader or if you're a long-term holder, it is considered healthy that it has actually corrected itself. That is why it's called a correction. You don't go up vertically straight up all the time. It has to come down and then restabilize and then go up again. So that is what a correction is, and that is everywhere. It happens in all markets. So we are witnessing that in the crypto markets right now.
Correct.
And it is really bloody.
It is bloody.
You will see 20%.
I just opened up CoinMarketCap for like reference. Actually, we'll go to CoinGecko. That's better. Yeah, I like CoinGecko. So CoinGecko, just to give a feedback, just to give like an introduction, CoinGecko is basically where you can watch the coins in the crypto market space, how they are growing, what's their market cap. Market cap is basically their valuation, their price today, their change in 24 hours, 7 days, 1 hour, whatever, and it's like a nice tool. So let me open up Bitcoin really quick, Malik, so that even you can see the little correction that we had today. And let's open TradingView over here. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So if you can see, it went all the way from 58,000 to 45,000 in just 1.5 days. So
20%.
this was expected. If you were in the markets for a long time, you know that these sort of things happen, and you need not panic, because every market has ups and downs, but the general trend is usually upwards.
What do you
So
think?
if you just zoom out,
do you want me to zoom out? Okay.
yeah, if you just zoom out, you will realize that this is just a
Yeah.
hiccup in the road, and that it is actually healthy for the entire market to take some breaks and just remove all the naysayers or all the new people who are just buying it just for the sake of creating or making money.
It is also like a time
So-
for people to. I'm just gonna add. Sorry. It's just like even a
Yeah.
time for people to like start setting up new lows, right? And it's like a time for people to get into the market, like
Yeah.
to get at
So,
new lows.
usually-
basically.
Yeah. Usually what the smart people do, it's called the smart money. The smart money play is when you see such a stark correction in price, they at that time just start getting in and start picking up bags. So it is usually the smart money that buys at these dips. But the dumb money, the people who are new, who don't know how to play markets, sell at these points.
I think
And that is why you use... No, dumb as in dumb
Oh, it's
with
just
the
like a-
financial market system.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, if you are holding and if you see a stark decline in your portfolio, do not worry. This is normal. This was actually expected after a run of at least 6 times from its previous
Low.
not low,
Sorry,
from its previous
high.
base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now I'm seeing it at
So
48,000.
that is what is happening.
Yeah, that's sad. Just like we are just doing this basically to show people that this keeps happening very commonly. You don't need to be scared. Markets go up and down all the, but you have to stick down. These times are the hard times basically in the market. If it was just going up, then it wouldn't be considered as risky, right? So hang in there, folks. Whoever is in the crypto world, hang in there. That's all I can say. Anyways, moving from the crypto market, actually I can share a joke also with you. Did you know that Peter Schiff was talking shit about Elon Musk and his stake and his like the Tesla stock? He was like, after he bought 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, which we talked about in our like one of the previous podcasts. He was like, the crypto like the stock entered in a bear market, plunging 20% from its all-time high, which is like totally bogus. Tesla's stock was already too high and it needed a correction as well. Like the Bitcoin market needed a correction. Same for the stock market. The same thing has happened, and then Elon Musk just put like an eggplant in the replies. And then people are like, what does eggplant mean? Oh my god, I can't show that. Where it's like Peter and then Peter Schiff just like entertained this reply. He just put an eggplant in his name as well.
That's actually hilarious.
This is super hilarious for me, because he's like putting up he's always against Bitcoin since forever, and he's becoming like a meme. He's becoming like those boomer jokes in the crypto world.
But it's good. He actually accepts that he is the meme in the community, and that's why people like him.
Yeah, and he was doing this since long, and he got the attention of Elon Musk finally. Right. So it's working. It's definitely working. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Let's see. What do we have?
What do you have next?
So the last time I came up over here on the last episode, I showed you about the landing of the Perseverance rover, and you were super excited. You were like, after the podcast, we had a long talk on like how it is, how did this all start, and you were like, okay, show me more, Najib. So I was like, okay, I'll show to you more about the rover landing scenes and how awesome it is right now. So
I wanted you to show it on the video as well because it's very fascinating.
Correct. So one of the first rovers that landed on Mars successfully were Spirit and Opportunity in 2004. Okay. So these rovers, how they landed, I'm going to show you a video of how they landed, and it's just I'm going to speed up the video so that you can see how after 7 months of traveling through space, after ascent from Earth, how the final 7 minutes or 10 minutes before landing were going before Perseverance and Curiosity were landed. But this is how we used to do it before. Let me just back this video a little bit. So this is the capsule basically that holds the rover. In this, I think we can have Spirit, or we had 2 rovers sent in 2004. So it could either be Spirit or Opportunity, but they had the same tech.
Technology. They had the same tech.
Yeah,
okay.
They're the same tech. So the heat shield first protects the belly of the rover. Can you see? You can see, right? The video? Yeah. So the sonic parachutes open up after the rover reaches like a certain height, and then you've seen this. It's almost the same. The change is over here. So after the heat shield is dropped off, the crane shoots out the rover in this triangular prism sort of thing, which has many balloons.
Whoa.
Yeah, and those balloons, they pop up in like almost like a blink of an eye. That's how fast they happen in real time, right? And they're super big. Like imagine as big as like almost 2-story height, and like as big as your room. It's that big.
When you were describing it, you said it's like a huge truck.
The rover is like a huge truck. I'm trying to describe the enlargement, the balloon, and how big that is in perspective. Like after the balloons have popped up, this stage, right? This stage, I'm trying to tell you how big it is. It's like from like it'll be 1.5 floor, and it's
like a very advanced version of bubble wrappers.
Exactly. It is like super bubble wrappers, like supersonic, like space levels bubble wrappers. So what they used to do is they used to the rover is still inside that prism, and they were not precise enough in 2004 that they can just land it anywhere. So to protect it from the surface like landing site, they would just take it up in this balloon thing, blow up the balloons, and just drop it. As you will see over here, they dropped it, and over here the drop, it starts bouncing like this.
Whoa.
It actually bounced like this on the
I
planet.
did not see this video.
It is incredibly awesome. It feels stupid, but right now the technology, as you've seen how good it is, right? The automatic landscaping with object detection. There's a jetpack. It's leaving the crane. Super awesome, super alien. But this is how we did it first time. And this bounce, I'll tell you an interesting fact. The first bounce that happens, it's 1 mile plus long. So it's bigger than the Empire State
Whoa.
Building. So for reference, this is the Empire State Building. So the first bounce is like, if it bounced here, it bounces this high and then falls.
Whoa.
And then
Whoa.
yeah, for the Spirit rover, it bounced 28 times before it came to a complete stop. So with every bounce, it's bleeding off energy.
This is blowing my mind.
So with every bounce, it's bleeding it off energy, and then after like 28 jumps, it comes to a stop, and then the balloons are blown off. That process takes 45 minutes, by the way. And then this process you're seeing, this is another 45 minutes, and then the solar panels open up.
Oh, it's like a prism. Oh,
yeah, the
okay.
prism. Yeah,
This is where the prism comes in.
like a pyramid. Yeah, I think pyramid is the right shape. Yeah, it's like a pyramid.
Okay.
And then this process you're seeing, this is again 45 minutes. The solar panels opening. It's incredibly sped up for our convenience, but yeah, in real time, it's all like, it's very, very, very hard. And then after this landing is done, it collects energy and starts sending all the telemetry signal from that it has recorded since entering the atmosphere till it falls down. And then 20 minutes later, we get the signals and we read up, and then we are like, oh, okay, it has landed. Cool, awesome. By the way, the bouncing goes on for 50 minutes. The bouncing goes on for 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
I think so.
Just keeps. Oh, okay. Because of the gravity, also, I think that plays
so
a huge factor.
Yeah, the gravity is 38% compared to Earth. So
yeah, that is why the bounce has been so long. Okay.
Yeah, the bounces are super long,
Hmm.
and these are very small compared to like this is like a small mini cart compared to what Perseverance and the rover Opportunity is. They are super big. They are super big. They are like SUV. This is like a mini car, like a nano, like even smaller than a nano you can. But these were awesome. This was 2004. So before Facebook was invented, before I think YouTube was invented, we landed things on Mars. Awesome. Super awesome stuff. I love
Very
this.
awesome.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
We have Intel has fallen behind in the semiconductor war. That's something.
Yeah. So, if you were watching the news, if you were looking at the semiconductor market, you will realize that Intel has fallen behind a lot, and many competitors of their similar kind like AMD and Nvidia have taken a huge boost forward. You will also see this in the price of the share market. Their value has not been increasing at all. In fact, it has been declining for a while. And whereas other competitors have quadrupled in the same time frame. So the time frame that I'm talking about is around 10 to 15 years. And right now, just a month ago, they've hired a new CEO, and his name is Pat Gelsinger. This person has been with Intel for at least 3 decades. Then he went on to a new company called VMware. Yeah, 3 decades. Then he has moved on to VMware, where he led the company. But now he has been hired back to get Intel on track.
Because they are.
But the thing is,
I think their main, their main. I'm sorry to interject. Their main business is basically semiconductor creation, right? Like that's their main stuff right now. They started with computers, and they made the most powerful chips. And you carry on. I'll put my point out.
Yeah.
You carry on.
All right, sure. Okay, so right now they are the biggest when it comes to sales, obviously, and when it comes to share of market.
Okay.
But they've been lagging a lot when it comes to innovation. Now, if you know, Apple has already released their M1 chips that have 5 nanometer. The size of the transistors are 5 nanometer in their chips, and they've already released it in production. Whereas Intel could not even deliver the 7 nanometer chips for their for their sales. They have confessed that it will take around 2 more years
Oh
to
wow.
get it out in the market.
The 7?
This is
Just the
partly
7?
yeah, just a 7.
Oh my
This is
god.
partly because of two reasons. One is because Intel usually targets a general landscape of chips. It does not have a very specific niche, and it wants to work with all sorts of data centers,
Oh,
and all sorts of computers.
true.
But this is also their weak point. And the second point is they are lagging in innovation and manufacturing. Their manufacturing largely happens in the US itself, but these other companies like AMD, Apple, all these people are going to another company called TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor
Oh, is this the
market.
other article that you shared with me, TS, about how TSMC
Yeah.
makes money? Okay.
Yes. So this is the Taiwan Semiconductor Company, which is the largest semiconductor producer in the world. Now, Intel usually designs them and produces them themselves, whereas others are outsourcing everything to the TSMC. So this creates like a,
Bottleneck for them?
although Intel has a bottleneck where the manufacturing processes are not as good and not as cheap. That is why they have this hiccup. Now they recently in a press conference confessed that they want to move on to outsourcing their manufacturing, but they have not completely had a strong foot on it.
But
Nevertheless,
just to
Mhm.
like get it clear, so that's I feel that that's like a very small hiccup, right? Like compared to how long these companies survive. Like AMD could like just get a better deal with TSMC, and they can just delete that bottleneck like really fast. I'm hoping.
you mean Intel? You mean Intel?
Intel, sorry,
No,
sorry.
it's not so difficult. It's not so sorry. It's not so easy
It's not
because
so easy.
first
Okay.
of all, the American government is pushing really hard on creating
Jobs
manufacturing units in America itself. They do not like outsourcing, and second thing is they have left out the mobile sector entirely, and also artificial intelligence sector entirely. So they don't create GPUs, they don't create mobile chips. So because of that, it's very hard to regain that momentum that they had before.
So
And right now,
what could we
Apple,
see in the near future? That would be my question to you. What could we see like in like the next 5 years? What would be the transition? Would we start seeing
we are
AMD
seeing
Ryzen chips everywhere, or like what would be the transition?
no. I think mostly what will happen is companies will start creating their own custom chips in house. Amazon has been doing it. Microsoft is
Oh.
rumored to do it. Apple already has done it, and this is the start of the custom in-house built chips.
So every manufacturer will become basically like Apple with their products. They'll start creating the hardware that's
Yes.
powering them in house. They'll not go to
Yeah.
Intel and be like, please supply the power to us, because it's just becoming
Yeah.
that much more better making it by yourself, the hardware. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
and Amazon for its cloud computing processors have already started rolling out a chip called Graviton, and they
Graviton.
also made it themselves, and it is made and manufactured by TSMC. So you see, there's a trend going on here, and clearly Intel is lagging behind.
Oh, because they're not working in conjunction with all of these partners. They are just trying to hold the fort by themselves, you can say, because Nvidia is like the leader in graphics processing. I would like some people
Yeah.
might not agree with me, but I feel they are, because they have pushed the AI boundaries of GPUs to such extent. It's insane what they're able to do, and they don't really need Intel for sure. So anybody who is able to in conjunction with Nvidia, they're able to work. They can create a full fledged processor, right? Like
Yeah.
right now, the issues that you have usually with the AMD processors, as far as my knowledge goes, is basically they are not well supported with Nvidia graphics card. I might be
Mhm.
wrong, but that's I see like that's like the one bottleneck, because Nvidia and Intel, they have a long-lasting relationship since a very very long time, and I think they're
Mhm.
transitioning away from that for sure, because Nvidia is becoming too powerful, and Intel is not able to keep up with that power. I hope you're getting what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah,
They-
but right now they hired a new CEO, so things are looking positive apparently, because
Might
he's an
change.
engineer. The previous CEO was not an engineer, and he was just a pure businessman. So there's one big factor. And also he was there in the early days of Intel.
I think that's good. I think they need a change, right? Because if you don't realize, it's better to realize faster than realizing it like in 10 years. Oh, where did we go wrong with like Nokia or BlackBerry and
Yeah,
those kind of
exactly.
phones, right? We see this constantly in the tech market. If you don't innovate, like these companies, they grow out amazing after the first few innovations, and then they just like stop innovating.
Yep.
That's what they were meant for,
Yep.
but they stop
So
innovating.
there's a quote by Andy Grove. He was one
Andy
of the
Grove.
key
Hmm.
people to take Intel where it is. Success breeds complacency. Complacency breeds failure, and only the paranoid survive. So I
Oh.
think they are not paranoid anymore. They have to start getting paranoid.
I see. Right now they are getting
And it is by Intel's own CEO in the start, Andy Grove. By the way,
Great
read his
saying.
book. It's really awesome.
Andy Groove. I'll keep it in my reminders for sure. That's interesting.
All right,
I would
let's
love to
move on
see.
to the
I don't
next
want Intel
topic.
to die, man. I just bought the 10950K for my processor. Sorry, 10850K for my processor. I don't want them to die. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so what I have for you, it's like you might know this, of course. The Facebook Australia debacle that's going on. So Australia basically reached out to Facebook and they requested them, if you're gonna charge ads on in Australia, pay our media houses more than what they are getting right now. Pay what they deserve. And Facebook was going on back and forth with Australia, and then Australia was basically not backing down, and Facebook was not backing down. And then finally, the end result was Facebook just came up, I think on 18th of February, and they closed all news media posting in Australia, like completely. They just like shut down, like using news media content for anything and everything. And the issue that in Australia, so people could not access any kind of news through Facebook at all. And 17 million Australians visit the social media site like every month, as you can see over here in this article. And this is a huge issue because they did not just block news media outlets, but what they blocked in essence was even healthcare like healthcare outlets that were posting regularly about COVID. What do we other agencies like which help with what do we say, relief care, even those things they put under the group of news media, and they just closed every news from these channels as well, and that affected a lot of people, which is super bad. And on Facebook,
so this affects small businesses, this affects
Everybody.
access to information,
correct.
and now you have like different sources of information that you cannot really rely on, and Facebook is usually the go-to place for many people
Exactly.
across the globe, and this I think hits a big it's a big hit.
It gives you a big sense of how we definitely knew through Social Dilemma. By the way, everyone, Social Dilemma is a great series on episode Netflix. You guys should watch it. So from Social Dilemma, we learn how powerful these companies are, how powerful their algorithms are, right? So it's just not the effect of closing that takes place and then it's like, okay, they closed it, we move on somewhere. It's not that easy. These companies have done so much to get in our heads that the effects just trickle down more than you just see on the surface. It's not just like closing news outlets down and being like, okay, we don't want to pay. It's not that easy to just like delete Facebook. And they should realize that, because when you have that much power, there should be some sort of governance over you. Don't you feel like that's what US has been trying to do with all the big tech companies? But of course,
but on the other hand, the argument is the smaller companies that are actually publishing news will have more hits on their websites. They will have more subscriptions because of this, because people are not relying on Facebook to share information. So in the other light, well, this is the
Facebook's point.
The conclusion.
Facebook's point basically is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Like we will lose because we are giving what do we say?
No, that's not
Like-
Facebook's point. That's basically people's point. Like
Oh.
people should not have to depend on Facebook anymore. They can actually go to the
Understood.
publisher's website and
Understood.
actually use their website and subscribe to their news content. In a way, that is also beneficial.
I like the points that they're trying to put, but I feel but I need to emphasize how hard that is. That is very hard.
Mhm.
When there is a central,
It is very hard.
when there is a central, like human beings are one like simple one stop, one solution for everything, right? And whatever company has been able to do that in the past has grown immensely. Amazon is one big example of that, and it hasn't entered the social media market right now. But
Mhm.
but give it 5 more years, it'll do something for sure, or
Yeah.
it'll acquire something that'll do. And this,
Yeah.
yeah, there's an issue that I wanted to pick up, and I wanted to know like your opinion, like how do we control this?
I could give my opinion, but I think we are running out of time.
Or maybe
So
yes.
let's wrap it up, and maybe we can use it for the next episode.
Sure. I hope you learned something today. I have had an enlightening episode.
Yeah, this was awesome. The
Yes.
balloon video was really awesome. You keep showing me amazing videos, man. So this is good.
I am
Alright.
kind of becoming like the tech guy on the podcast, and you're like kind of like becoming like the business insight sort of person.
Yeah, let's switch roles after some time.
Maybe.
All right. Thanks, Najib. Thank you for showing me all these articles, and hopefully our viewers also learned something new.
Yes.
Thank you for watching. We will meet you in the next one.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.